And our word for today on this Wednesday of the 14th week in Ordinary Time, this Wednesday, July the 10th, our word for today is sent. Sent, taken from our gospel reading today, the Gospel of Matthew chapter 10. Jesus summoned his 12 disciples and gave them authority over unclean spirits to drive them out and to cure every disease and every illness. The names of the 12 apostles are these: Simon, called Peter, first, and his brother Andrew, James the son of Zebedee and his brother John, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew the tax collector, James the son of Alphaeus and Thaddeus, Simon and Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Jesus. Jesus sent out these 12 after instructing them thus: "Do not go into pagan territory or enter a Samaritan town. Go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and go and make this proclamation: the kingdom of heaven is at hand." Make this proclamation: the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Brothers and sisters, first we need to look at who the Lord sent. He sent the 12 who were chosen. Among them was the one who would betray him, Judas. It doesn't say that he was absent this opportunity. It doesn't say that he was absent the ability to drive out unclean spirits and heal every disease. Jesus sent all 12 out. So first, let's understand this. God's calling doesn't mean our sanctification. When God calls a person to do a thing, it doesn't mean that that person is absolutely holy. If we give ourselves over to it, God can bring that sanctification into our lives through the work that he has called us to do, as long as it's rightly directed. But God has gifted each and every one of us in a singular, particular way. Let me say that again. God has gifted every single one of us in a singular, particular way. Now, our opportunity that is before us is to allow the Spirit to identify that thing, to continue to mature that thing. But God, in his generosity, doesn't withhold that giftedness from us if we choose not to use it for him. We see it in the world all the time. These gifted, wonderful people that God has put these incredible gifts upon, he has given them to them. He has given them to each of them, and they misuse it. In fact, many times it's used to do the absolute opposite of what God gifted them to do. So we know that he has given us these gifts, but it is up to us as to whether or not we put them at the service of the building up of the kingdom. In the book of the prophet Hosea today, chapter 10, we see a people that was set apart for God who didn't follow him. Israel is a luxuriant vine whose fruit matches its growth. The more abundant his fruit, the more altars he built. The more productive his land, the more sacred pillars he set up. Their heart is false. Now they pay for their guilt. God shall break down their altars and destroy their sacred pillars. And he goes through the offense that has been caused, brothers and sisters. But again, the more abundant his fruit, God says, the more altars he builds, to false gods, by the way. The more productive his land, the more sacred pillars he sets up. Do you see where we find sometimes our security? Rather than in God, we find our security in the things around us that he, in fact, has given to us for the building up of his kingdom. It has to be rightly used. And then we see at the end, "Then they shall cry out to the mountains, cover us, and to the hills fall upon us." Brothers and sisters, we must be obedient to the call that the Lord God has given to us. He has sent us forth to proclaim the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Be made free. Set yourself apart from this offense to God and serve him faithfully. Sent, our word for today.